The legislative branch began the process of creating the Common Core in 2009.
The Center of Education Policy issued the Common Core State Standards in 2011.
Ohio adopted the standards on June 18, 2010. Full implementation was for the 2013-2014 school year.
The Common Core State Standards define the knowledge that is necessary to become academically successful before and after graduation in English, language arts, and mathematics. One of the main goals of Common Core is to put all students on a level playing field in the real world. It's difficult to tell how students compete against one another if standards are inconsistent from state to state. Each grade has a set of standards and goals that they must meet before they move on to the next grade.
The standards do not tell teachers how to teach, they simply lay out what the students must learn.
That's where the Common Core State Standards come in. Here's how it works. You can think of kindergarten through 12th grade like a giant staircase. Each step is a skill your child needs to learn before stepping up to the next one. What if everyone's stairs were made at different heights? We need to create consistent steps in education. Each standard makes sure all students are learning what they need to know to get to graduation and beyond.
The standards are research and evidence-based,
Clear, understandable, and consistent.
Aligned with college and career expectations.
based on rigorous content and application of knowledge through higher order thinking,
Built upon the strengths of current academic standards.
Informed by other top-performing countries in order to prepare all students for success in our global economy and society. PARCC tests were created based on Common Core standards and will be administered at the end of this year, affecting us here at Stow-Munroe Falls High School.
These tests measure real-world skills like critical thinking and application.
Hello everyone.
Were you involved in the decision of making Stow a Common Core school?
The answer to that question is no, and no local level administrators or school personnel were involved in that decision. That decision came from the governor of the state of Ohio, John Kasich, who made the state of Ohio a Common Core state.
Makes sense. And what is your personal opinion about the effectiveness of Common Core?
I believe in rigorous standards. Therefore, the math and English standards that are part of the Common Core, I believe in and I agree with their implementation. However, on the opposite side to that, I'm not a firm believer in the testing platform that we also inherit with Common Core, which means high stakes tests in English and in math that eventually all students in grades 9 through 12 will have to pass.
Right. Have teachers given you a positive or negative feedback on Common Core?
I think the feedback, again, on the standards themselves have been resoundingly positive. Teachers believe in rigorous standards, and we believe that the old standards in some circumstances weren't rigorous enough. Like my belief, I think you're going to find that most teachers disagree with the testing platform that accompanies those standards.
Testing is, and the focus on testing and the number of tests that students have to take nowadays and the number of tests that teachers have to administrate, huge controversy surrounding that, of course. And I think one of the interesting things about that question is that it's only about 2 decades old. You know, we didn't really see standardized tests writ large until the mid-90s, and it was a slow build, and it wasn't until No Child Left Behind during the Bush administration that we really saw regular testing of students on a regular basis. And we've seen bipartisan support of that through the Obama administration and Race to the Top. And now, in the last few years, we've started to see a crescendo of a backlash. And a lot of that is tied to Common Core state standards and some other initiatives that boost the amount of tests, the number of tests that students have to take.
Currently, in my English class, we are required to take a standardized test every quarter. The English teachers then get together and compare our strengths and weaknesses. If we do not score high enough, we are required to take tests online to improve our scores. Here's my teacher, Mrs. Tyson, who will tell you more about it.
Mrs. Tyson, what is your personal opinion on the effectiveness of Common Core?
Right. I think that for schools that really did not have a strong curriculum base to begin with and had students that were failing and not doing well on standardized tests, that the Common Core curriculum was a good idea.
Okay. How has the Common Core affected your students in their grades?
For me, I have noticed that I have to take subject matter out of my curriculum. I cannot teach everything and cover as much material as I like to have covered in the past. So I feel a little bit like as if I'm cheating my students out of some really good curriculum.
Do you think these standards prepare students for the real world?
No, I don't. I think some of the standards have lowered our expectations, and that some of our students are not going to be able to tackle problems as well as they did in the past, especially when I was able to give them more curriculum and more background.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Many students are unaware of the new standards they are being tested on.
I have no idea what it is, to be honest.
I know little kids have like Common Core, they're like new standards, and I don't think my sister likes it. So.
There are pros and cons to the Common Core.
However, in order to be successful in life, it is your responsibility to apply yourself in your education.